this is Felicia Aleman for the ModestoView. This is my monthly video series called Running the Light. As you may or may not know, a comedian is always given a certain amount of time to be on stage, and they are given a light as a warning. When you go over your time, it's called running the light, and that's what we always do here. We try to keep it to 5 minutes, but there's just so much fun things to talk about. This month you will see I have some production values. I actually have real chairs, and also I have a new cameraman, Rocco. Say hi to everyone, Rocco. Okay, that's Rocco. So now we're gonna start with the credits. Rocco, hit the music and let's go.
Bow 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 down, ba down bow, ba down bow, boom 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 boom. Then a bow bow bow, ba down bow bow. Beep boop deep deep bop 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 bop. Da la la ba la la. Doop dee deep dee deep. Bop bop. Deep dee deep dee deep. Bop 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 bop. Deep deep.
Right on. Okay, today our special guest is Saul Trujillo.
I think it's a good theme song. I
You
like the theme song. That's a good theme song.
Good theme song. Rocco has a good addition to the team. So we have Saul Trujillo here today.
Welcome to my front yard.
Yes, we are here at what they call the Puppy Palace.
Puppy house. Pup house.
The Pup House.
Never
I call it.
We're not princes.
I call it the Casa de Puppy.
Casa de Puppy.
Because
that's
in
good.
Portuguese, I think it's Caixa de Puppy, but
Yeah. I'm gonna start calling it Kesha de Puppy.
Caixa de Puppy.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we're here talking to Saul. Saul is a longtime fixture, Modesto 209, comedy all over the state, and so Saul, nice to have you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with the quick basic questions. How long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for 7 years.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now the big news for Saul is that he has recently released his comedy on, tell us, Spotify.
Not recently, but it was in June is when I actually filmed the comedy special Drugstore Debutante at Cheroot Lounge in Modesto. And I ended up putting it on Pandora, Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on Slacker Radio, it's on iHeartRadio, it's on all these streaming services. And this year, 2018, I plan on releasing it through film, like the DVD portion. Yeah.
So, you've been doing comedy for 7 years here locally. What made you say, like, yeah, now is the time to do the video?
Well, I always feel like with every album, if you're going to release a series of albums, I always feel like the first one, I want to have fun with it. So like I wanted to do it at my 7-year mark, and the next one I'm probably going to do at my 9-10 year mark, and then that will be the album where it's like, because I was having fun with the first album, but I know that my second album is going to be stronger, I'm more mature, so I wanted to get my my adolescent album out of the way, like not like the teenage years of comedy, because 7 years is not a lot. I'm 7. You got to consider it being a 7-year-old in the game. So this is my toddler album, and then when I'm 14, I'll release another. 10 years in, release another one, and I'm gonna do it a series of albums that way. So that I guess now this would be my playful album in the years of comedy.
So, are you like retiring all that material? Or
Yeah.
You are?
Well, for corporate gigs, I'll keep it open, but as far as comedy clubs, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do any of that material in at least 3 months.
Really?
Yep.
It's not like giving up a baby or anything. You're just done and.
No, it's called evolving. It's called
Is
continuing to evolve as an artist, as a comedian, and in order to evolve, change has to happen with the same formula. I'm still going to be using the same formula that I write jokes with, but you have to keep creating material, content. I feel like that's what you have to do.
So, now a big question for a lot of comics is, how did you finance it? Did you get sponsors, or were you out just completely self-financed?
Self-financed, but it helps being a good dude, I think. Like, it really does. Because I feel like if you're not a great person in the scene, like legitimately, all joking aside, like I feel like things are going to cost you financially and more frustrating. I just told a bunch of people, hey, I want to do an album, and then people just started coming out of the woodwork, like, I'll help you produce it, or I'll film it for free, or I'll do this, and I ended up getting really great quality work from Nick Larson. He's Nick Larson from Nick Larson Photography. He's also got a podcast with me called Joke Me Off with Nick and Saul. And he's like, yo, I'll help you produce it. I'll help you film. I'll help you do all that because I want to see this album out because he I'm his friend and he believes in the material and yeah. So if you just be a good dude and Deaf Puppies Comedy, all my buddies and that helped with a whole bunch of stuff that people can't even like. I owe my friends a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm. So that was going to be something else I wanted to talk about. You're part of the Deaf Puppies.
Mm-hmm.
You're a crew of about, what is it, about 9 of you?
About 9 comics.
9 comics. So do you think that that's like the biggest advantage is you guys can pool your resources? So like you have your strengths and Nick has his strengths and Ant has his, everybody can pull together there. Is that like the biggest reason to be in the Deaf Puppies? Is that what you guys formed it for?
Biggest reason that we were in the Deaf Puppies because I think first and foremost we're friends.
Right.
And we found that out right away. It's like a bunch of dudes who clicked together. We're like, why don't we just... It started out as a joke through Facebook Messenger, 2014, 15, I forget, during the Mamas. We did a chat. It was a talk crap chat, you know, where we just talk crap on each other for the Mamas. And we're like, oh, if we were a band, we'd be called Chris Teixeira and the Deaf Puppies. And then Chris Teixeira was like, nah, man, we'd just be called the Deaf Puppies. So it started off as like, what would we would be if we were an actual music group? And then we said the Deaf Puppies were like, why don't we just be a comedy group? Where we do sketches, we throw shows together, we write together, we bounce ideas off of each other. And then it's starting to formulate to where like it was fun, and then it was like a club, and now it's starting to look like it's about to become a business with the comedy club coming out and the sketches that we have just planned out. Connor Martin, myself, all the Deaf Puppies have all these written sketches banked that we haven't filmed yet. And that's what we have planned for 2018.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So like we should be looking forward to like a Deaf Puppies YouTube channel or something like that.
That's YouTube channel. And short sketches, short stories. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Cool. So, what do you think like was the hardest thing when you got started in comedy? What do you think was the hardest thing? Was it getting on the stage or having material or
stage fright? You could write all day. People they mistake thinking that they have an hour without performing it on stage. I have an hour, and then they try the material on stage like I have 4 minutes. You know?
And only 2 are good.
Yeah, and but it's the hardest thing is honestly it's having the courage to go up there and do it. Stage fright, performance anxiety, stuff like that. Because the first time I did it, I crushed. I did really well from the gate, and then the second time I forgot all my material, and it was just, and I didn't want to do stand up anymore. And the first time I did so well, and then they have that mentality, but no, this takes practice. This takes getting on stage. This takes. I could write all I want, but if I don't perform it on stage and see how it does at mics, then I don't have that material yet.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so it looks like we are getting light. Tell us where we can find you this next month of January.
The next month of January, actually, I have no idea when this is being released, but
It's released today.
Today
or tomorrow.
Okay. I'll be at Crooked Lanes Brewery January 4th. That's this week. What does that say? Oh, I thought you were like holding me.
Oh, no.
He's like, hello to everyone, Rocco.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, Crooked Lanes in Auburn, California. That's another gig. And then I'll be throwing a Shadows, the monthly that I usually do. January 20th, we have Anthony K., Dejan Tyler. I'm bringing him back to feature. Javon Willock. These are both comedians out of Sacramento. I'm hosting. That's Shadows Steakhouse in Stockton, California. There are other gigs that are coming that I can't think of right now, but those are the main ones I want to plug right now.
And where can we find Saul? Tell us about your Facebook and your Instagram and whatnot.
I have a fan page that I'm going to start using, Saul Trujillo, and then you can add me on Facebook, Saul Trujillo, but El Comico Saul on Instagram and at Baby Manchild on Twitter. I'll have a website pretty soon as well.
Awesome. So, Modesto viewers, that has been our show for today. Thank you so much. Thank you to Rocco, the cameraman and music man, and thank you to Saul for being our guest. And we will see you next month. Bye-bye.